What's up, y'all? I am back. So, the Tremors videos I just couldn't get to yesterday. I tried doing at least Cold Day in Hell, I just couldn't do it. So, what I'm gonna do is I had to get to Cobra today. So, what I'm gonna do is Sunday, I'll do Cold Day in Hell, and probably Monday I'll just do two videos. I'll do like the monthly pitch video, then I'll just do the Tremors 2. Either on Monday or I'll just push it next Tuesday for at least the last one. But anyway, today we're kind of kicking off Stallone's one-off films since we finished all his big franchise ones. And I felt like I did a poll. I was gonna either do Cobra or Over the Top. Over the Top was actually gonna win initially, and then like hours later, it just like switched and just Cobra just full steam ahead just came through. So I'm still going to do Over the Top. I'm probably going to do that one next Wednesday. But today I'm doing Cobra is an interesting one. Because unfortunately at the time it didn't do well. This was at that time, if it wasn't fucking with Stallone, if it wasn't Rocky or fucking Rambo, for some reason it's just like Tango and Cash, which that's going to be another one I'm going to do probably not next week, but the week after. That's another one for some reason didn't do well. You got two great actors in that, but Kurt Russell, Stallone, but yeah, it didn't do great. It's just, it was weird because I love this movie. I've always loved this movie. I mean, the cover, he's like in black, he's got the shades, and he's got this pistol in his hand. I just always love the cover. But yeah, basically the movie is about a officer named Cobra. He's like, one of the best. He works the zombie squad. But while, the opening is this awesome, like, sequence where a guy, like a gunman, takes over a store and he has to go in and kill the gunman. And, you have, like, a lot of the other officers don't like his ways. It's like the typical thing. You're too crazy. You're too much of a hothead. You always have that kind of shit. But I do love the horror tone of it, at least the first chunk of it anyway. Because while this is all going on, you have this group called the New Order, or New World Order, something like that. They're this group that are committing a series of several murders that are being linked to a night slasher. And one night, Ingrid, played by Bridget Nelson, witnesses one of the murders, or witnesses them removing a body. So basically she becomes a target, and Cabretti has to protect her while the New Order try to kill her. Essentially, that's mostly what the film is. This film is awesome. I love the way Stallone plays it, and I love the meshing of genres. Because, yeah, especially in the later half, it does become like a typical Stallone action flick, which that's fine. But, yeah, it's like your typical Stallone action flick, like. But then you have, like, the first half, especially the hospital sequence where the night slasher's trying to get Ingrid. Very Halloween 2. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but, him walking through the hospital, he was killing some people. They really do a good job, and even with the music, yeah, there's a lot of 80s, because you have Robert Tepper, who also did the Rocky IV soundtrack, doing this soundtrack. And I say it works, but it also, like, when the killings and every time they focus on the night slasher, I love that, like, it has, like, this little, it sounds like the heartbeat from Terminator 1, like, this eerie kind of music that plays. But overall, it's an awesome movie. I think the only thing I would change is I would have just had the night slasher be a night slasher. You could have had it be a group of guys still, and have because the reason they're getting a lot of the info on Ingrid is because they have a cop on the inside who works for them. And that I like that aspect. You could have still did that, but I really would have I like the whole serial killing aspect. And I feel like it kind of gets abandoned, and it just becomes like a normal action flick where it's just a bunch of guys trying to kill this girl like a normal Stallone, like they're shooting at her. I don't know. I like that horror tone. I maybe just wanted more of it. But definitely one of his more underrated movies. I still think it's great. It has bits of humor, very 80s. If you like Stallone, this is a good one. It is a bit gory. Well, not gory, but like there's a bit of blood. Especially because the knife the killer has is fucking brutal. I love, and the guy they got to be the actual night slasher, they did a really good job. Like, the dude's creepy looking. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like the scene specifically, I know I'm jumping a bit ahead, but there's a scene where Ingrid's driving by and he's just giving her this stare, man. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little bit like, ooh, like they got the right guy to play that role. Like they really got a good. Even his voice is fucking creepy when you actually hear him talk finally. But yeah, other than that, tomorrow I will be doing Split, so we're continuing down the Unbreakable trilogy. I really liked Split. James McAvoy showed himself, man. Like I always thought he was a good actor. You know, he was awesome as Professor X. Great at, you know, I loved him in Wanted. That was like one of his earlier roles that at least I remember seeing him in. But other than that, he really outdone himself in this, like the multiple characters thing. So we'll be talking about that more tomorrow. I'll watch it tonight, and then I'm gonna review it tomorrow. Probably the same time today, most likely. But other than that, we're gonna kick off this review. So, movie opens up. We get this awesome like opening credits where like the credits are rolling and you're just seeing Cobra on his motorcycle driving, and he got like this red tint to the sky. It looks fucking awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I remember like watching it last night. I'd be like, I didn't remember that. Like, and you got this like music playing. It's like this red sky. It just looks so fucking good. But then the movie opens up. I'm like, it's like it looks like it's Christmas time because you see like Christmas stuff in front of the store. But like it's like a normal day, it seems like. But then one of the new order guys break in. They break in and cause a shoot. They start shooting up the place, and then one of the officers tries to send in like one of the negotiations. But the shooter has one of the hostages. Basically tries to use one of the hostages and tells him to walk forward, but then the hostage tries to run, ends up getting shot, and this is where Cobretti arrives, and you know you get like that scene of, oh, we don't like the way you work and how you do things. I always, that's one thing about cop movies I do love, is that like any kind of cop movie, it doesn't matter, especially at this time period in like the 80s. This was like 86 when this came out, but like you always had that. You have to have like the chief or whoever's in charge always look down on what that officer does. So Cobretti goes in. We get like a nice sequence of him dodging, getting shot, and he even takes over the fucking PA system to announce to the crew. I like Stallone has some really good lines here. You know, like I don't get people who say he's a bad actor. He knows how to play like. Yeah, there might be some movies where he does play Stallone. I'll give you that, but I don't feel like he was Stallone in this. He actually played a character. You know, he was like a calm, cool, kind of, you know, a little bit off the hinges, but he gets his fucking arrests. Like, he's that kind of cop. So he ends up throwing a knife. It's fucking smooth, too, how he did it. And then shoots. Well, before that, we get the iconic, "You're the disease, I'm the cure." I fucking love that line. It's just because it's so simple. You're the disease, I'm the cure. Very simple. It works. And I think that was the tagline of the movie, too. So, yeah, he shoots the guy. But then he goes back home. He fucking embarrasses, like, some gangster. I thought that scene was funny. Because the gangster was parked in front of his, like, house and he couldn't park. So he, like, just rams the dude's car and just pushes it forward. And then, like, yeah, embarrasses him in front of his gang, and then goes in. And this is where we get basically from the news, they give you the backstory about not the backstory, but like what's going on about the Night Slasher, and mentions who he's killed and all that. And then I think in between that, you see like the actual Night Slasher, which is actually part of the New Order group. They're this group that basically thinks they're superior to everyone else. For me, especially when they don't really go all the way with it either, they don't even really go into the cult aspect anyway. Like, they just kind of mention, they're this group. I would have rather have just been straight up killers. Just these psycho killer guys, and then you could have still had the girl cop who works with them. You could have still had that. I don't know. It kind of felt weird, especially when they don't really even touch on they don't go into what they actually, they somewhat do, like there's like some one-off lines you get, but you don't fucking really, get like their backstory. I would have rather just been their killers. That's it. Because I actually love those sequences where you did see them commit a few killings. Like they killed a girl who's like works at like a diner. She was getting off work, she gets yanked, she gets killed, and then they kill another one. Like it was awesome. I wanted kind of more of that, you know. I felt like we only got a couple sequences of that, and then like the last one where he tries to get Ingrid later, and then that's it. So they then commit another murder. This is where we get the backdrop that it's actually a group of people doing the killings. But while they were trying to plop the body, arrange the body, this is where we get our first introduction of Bridget Nelson in the movie. She drives by, and then the actual night slasher just stares her down. And I'm not gonna lie, the guy did a really good job at being creepy. Like he really pulled it off, man. Especially that scene specifically. I'm not gonna lie, when he was like giving her that stare, it's like, bitch, I'm killing you. Like you believed it. So, and you even hear the girl cop saying, "Oh, get her license plate." So they end up driving off. Next day, Ingrid's at like some party, leaving with, I'm assuming, like her boyfriend. Then the killers attack her again. Oh, before that, Cabretti gets, after a few more murders are committed, he gets basically put on because he works on a different branch for the police, but he gets put on the case and basically says you can kind of investigate who's doing it. And you kind of get a sequence of him and his partner Gonzalez, like investigating people, which I actually like that sequence. Them going to just different people, you know, asking them, do you know, like and you got like some super 80s music playing. I think it was Angel of the City playing, very 80s, but it works. So they attack her. The New Order guy, Night Slasher, and his I'm just gonna call him Night Slasher and his gang attack her. But they end up killing her boyfriend, but she ends up hiding and getting away. And then they end up driving off. And basically, this is where she gets placed under protection of Cabretti and his partner Gonzalez. But they end up leaving her overnight at a hospital. And while they're doing that, Cabretti's looking like for a face match because she drew him gave him like what he looked like. And while this is happening, Cabretti and Gonzalez, or maybe just Cabretti, he gets attacked at his house by New Order guys. He kills them pretty easily. And then he realizes, what ended up happening is Gonzalez realized they'd been duped because he says, we got called back to the station. And then, because Cabretti knew it was a fucking trap. So while this is happening, the Night Slasher goes in, because before that we get the reveal that the girl who's with them is actually a cop, who's actually giving them the location and shit. She ends up going to the hospital. He ends up, going to the hospital, and I really love this sequence. It was creepy. You kind of cut back to Cabretti trying to get there. Like, he is running. He's trying to get there. When he arrives at the hospital, he's fucking running. He's trying to, get to her. And you just see the Night Slasher just killing people. And it was done. I think the one nurse he killed, he stabbed her in like the leg and then just pulls her down. It's brutal, man. Somebody kills in this. And then he ends up getting to her room, but Ingrid was actually like in the bathroom. He ends up chasing Ingrid, tries to stab through. Very horror movie, slasher movie. The killer trying to stab through the door, trying to get to the victim. But she manages to evade. She pulls a fire alarm, which causes like a whole thing. So basically, like, a bunch of people arrive, so the killer can't get to her. So she ends up going with Cabretti the next day, and then they get attacked again by the New Order. But this time, like, we get like a chase, like a typical action movie chase scene, which was fun. But I really did kind of want more of those creepy kill scenes. I kind of wanted a little bit more of that. I felt like after the hospital sequence, it pretty much just becomes like a normal action movie, really. You get some chase scenes, Stallone shooting at people and all that. So but initially they're chasing him, but then they realize this dude's fucking crazy. He's trying to kill us now. And he's like shooting up shit. And then we get a sequence where he argues with his fellow cops. Very good sequence. You get the one asshole cop who's basically been hounding him the whole movie. And he, basically chokes him out before he has to go. And then basically he insists that him and Ingrid are going to go out of town because he just feels like it's safer. So they end up doing that. And so that day, this is where pretty much they start falling in love while that girl cop is with them. So she's basically able to give them the location of the town they're in. So yeah, they start falling in love. They go to a bar and you hear like this love song in the background. And I thought the whole love story was done decently. I like that they kind of waited till a little bit closer to the end of the movie to build it. At least in this instance, because it worked better as like him trying to protect her. I mean, it's a classic story, She ends up falling for the guy who protects her. That's a story, especially at this time, So, they have sex, pretty much. And he starts suspecting, before that, the girl cop is up to something because he sees her using like a pay phone instead of like her phone. And she tries to play it off. But that night, the bikers, or the gang, take over the town slowly. And you could tell, I love this scene though, like he has sex and then he's fucking just in his bed, he has the fucking gun, he's fucking ready. Because it's like he has a feeling something's gonna happen. Then they attack the next morning. They get held up in the house. Stallone takes out some people. So this is a dope little final sequence. Gonzalez ends up getting injured, but they end up escaping, him and Ingrid, on a truck, and they end up leading a chase into like a factory, and this is pretty much where the final act is held. And Stallone, or Cobretti, sorry, or Cobra, I'll just call him Cobra. Cobra shoots the girl cop, and then starts taking out most of the rest of the gang until he gets to the Night Slasher. We get like a final fight, a little bit. Initially, he's about to kill, because the Night Stalker's trying to goad him into killing him, or like basically saying, unless you kill me, and it's not legal. Like he's trying to goad him into basically trying to kill him, not try to show him like he's not a good cop. But Cobretti says like the perfect line. He's talking about like basically, dude, this is past what you have done is past the line. You're going fucking down. Like essentially, you're fucking dead. So he's about to shoot him, but apparently she's still alive. But then she ends up getting killed. The female cop, or his girlfriend. We get a physical fight between the two, but then Cobra slams the dude onto a hook, and he basically gets set on fire. Pretty brutal death, to be honest. Pretty fun final fight, and he gets the girl, punches out the one cop in the end, and then it turns out his friend Gonzalez is alive, and then they drive off. The end of film. Fun action film, man. Very, very 80s. I love the soundtrack. I love like the aesthetic. It has this like, even though it's LA, granted LA is kind of a shithole now, but it has this like, not Gotham, but like that like city where it's like a lot of crime. They really did a good job of making it look like that. I think the aesthetic of the film, I love it. Like it has this graininess to it, but it works. I thought the villain was good. I thought the dude who played the Night Slasher was great, especially when he talks, man. I'm like, yeah, they got the right fucking guy. I wanted more kill scenes. I wanted more Night Slasher moments. I think that is the only thing I would have added. But everything else is fun. It's fine. It's a fun action movie. It's only like hour and 40 minutes, so it's not, or hour and 20, something like that. It's not long at all. You know, it's your typical 80s action film, but it does have a nice meshing of genres, especially in the beginning. So I don't understand why it got dogged on. I thought it was a fun movie. It's not one of his best. I wouldn't put like Cobra up there with like any of the Rocky movies or Rambo. But I wouldn't say this is one of his best he's done, just not like in that echelon. But I enjoyed it. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna end the video because it is starting to get dark in here. So, but tomorrow I will be doing Split, which I can't wait to do. I honestly just kind of want to get to Glass because I want to rip apart that dog shit ending. I need that ending needs to get ripped apart. But I cannot wait to watch Split because I've only watched Split, I think, twice. I watched it when around the time it came out, and then I watched it again before Glass. So I'm definitely down to watch it again and see what I've missed. But yeah, I'm gonna review that tomorrow. And yeah, but I'm gonna cheers one more time. I would give Cobra like a 7 out of 10 fun action flick, you know, fun Stallone film. So I know Stallone wants to do like a bunch of sequels, but if one sequel I can be okay with, I'd be okay with a Cobra too. I think you could do more. Maybe another serial killer, another case, but what's Cobra up to? That'd be like the only one I'd kind of be down for. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna cheers and peace out. But yeah, guys. Talk to y'all tomorrow. As usual. Fuck the Biden administration. Peace.